Hey guys, Luke here, Tranquility Based Detailing. Welcome to the Detailing Show from friends. Welcome to the Detailing Show. If this is your first time with us, or even if it's not, if you've not subscribed, we'll all wait for you for a second. Just pan down a little bit, tick that subscribe button. It's free to show your support for the channel, but it helps the channel grow. So go and click it now, and then we'll begin. Good. So, let's get started. Up today on the Detailing Show, we're looking at 3 different manufacturers. We're looking at Bear Car Care. We can take a look at ODK, their Echo Wax. And we're also going to have a look at Revive My Ride. So what I've done is I've segmented this. This is the whole show. However, if you just want to have a look at Bear Car Care, then click this link there. If, however, you just want to have a look at ODK's Echo review, and you should, it's a good wax, this link is the one for you. And finally, if you want to check out Revive My Ride, and we've got a bit of a one manufacturer clean, 6 products from them, then you should click on this link just here. But if you want to watch the whole episode, stick with us, I'll go through everything. But let's start with Bear Car Care. Sent me a couple of products to try, their shampoo and their quick detailer. Added into those was the snow foams that they sent to me for previous review. So managed to give the car a bit of a maintenance wash using a bit of Bear goodness. So check this out. Enjoy. Hey guys, Luke here, Tranquility Based Detailing. Welcome to another Bear Car Care review. Now, for those that have been watching for a little while, you probably remember Bear Car Care have been on the channel before. They sent to me their snow foam setup. Detailing show, maybe episode 4, maybe episode 3 even. But they sent me a couple of other bits to try out. So they sent to me their shampoo and their spray wax. Now, if you go onto their website, which is bearcarcare.co.uk, if I remember rightly, they have 2 shampoos and they have a quick detailer and a spray wax. So for clarity, spray wax that they sent to me here is Quick Fizz. They do have a quick detailer, and they sent to me their Berry Blast shampoo, which is their one that contains a wax element. They do have a straight shampoo, which is called Appalicious. Price wise, you're looking £11 for the shampoo, that's in a 500ml bottle, and £12 for the spray wax, again 500ml. The first part, obviously, I thought I may as well chuck it in there. I had it sat there, was to get the car snow foam down, so chucked the snow foam in the mix as well. I just thought I'd make it a full Bear segment. Why not? So shampoo first. The shampoo, for me, of the 2 items that they sent down, they both smell really, really nice. The shampoo is a berry scented shampoo, and it's very noticeably that, very fresh, very, almost like a summer berries type of scent. It is really, really nice, almost Vimto-esque in its scent. The Quick Fizz is a cola scented one, and that was lost a little bit more for me, I have to say. Not unpleasant on the scent, just, I think with cola or cola bottles, that type of scent, you can really ramp it up if you wanted to go nuts. And it was a little bit more subtle than that, but still very, very pleasant on the scent. So the directions for the shampoo said to add a few capfuls into your bucket. So for those shampoos where they give, an exacting dilution ratio, I'll try and hit that. But equally speaking, that's not for everyone. And some people do just want to go for a few glugs in the bucket. So this one kind of plays a bit more towards that. It's, more free and easy. But once added to it, it foamed up nicely, certainly in the bucket when it was agitated with the pressure washer. I found that foam didn't transfer to the panel as much as some do. But that's not the end of the world. Some you really get a lot of foam going onto the panel, others less so. But the key thing was this: does it clean well? What was the lubricity like on the shampoo? So I have to say, yes, it cleaned very, very well. It had a good cleaning power to it, and the lubricity was certainly there. So it was a nice shampoo to use, very effortless, rinsed really nicely as well. Now, in terms of the protection that it's going to lay down, wax shampoos, they're not going to lay down. It's not waxing your car, so if you're expecting that from them, you're typically going to be disappointed, unless using sort of these newfangled top-up, almost like coating top-up type shampoos, but it's not that. It's not claiming to be that. But the type of protection it put down really just sheeted the water off. So, you know, you're not going to see big old round beads or anything like that, but it's in the nature of these shampoos. They're not that, but certainly left some protection down. On rinsing, the water sheeted away quite nicely, and it left very, very little to be dried. Drying towel of choice, Clin Korea in this particular case. I don't know why I put this segment in. I was just enjoying a sausage roll. So Greggs, if you want to sponsor the sausage rolls of the car cleaning, I'm all for it. If any of my viewers want to share this in Greggs' direction, let's make it happen. Let's do this together. Together we can get more Greggs sausage rolls during the car cleaning process. So let's do a bit there. Once the car was dried, so onto the spray wax. So a mist per panel, buff it around. Like a lot of spray waxes, you can feel the sort of the slickness come across the paint just as you're sort of buffing these. And unlike some spray waxes, actually really rather effortless. So this is, you know, very quick detailer-esque in what you would do. So, you know, it's more just sort of wipe around and almost buff it into the paint. No real residue to go around and buff afterwards. But, you know, just common sense would say just to make sure you flip the cloth over to a dry section or a clean section. Shouldn't be dirty, so forget the clean section, a dry section. And just buff the paint over with that. What can I tell you about it? Like I say, scent I've already covered on. Pleasant, but if it was stronger, wouldn't be the end of the world. Left a nice slick feel to the paint. It left a nice gloss to it. Very clean type of gloss. So, you know, it wasn't like a depth or, you know, richness that you get with certain waxes, but more like a cleaner type of gloss, if you guys understand what I mean by that. So more... For me, with spray waxes, they're never going to replace waxing in general, but for what it did and for certainly the speed, and that's sort of the main selling point for a spray wax, thing was absolutely spot on. It was a lovely product to use. At this point, this is now, if we count the snow foam as 3 items, because they do, you know, the 2 different snow foams and the muck off mint, which is the top up for that, and now the shampoo and the spray wax. So that's 5 items tried for Bear. And I'm enjoying them. I think they're exactly what detailing should be about. You know, they're relatively effortless, nice to use, pleasurable to use, you know, not fussy. And everything that for me, if I'm not a professional, you guys know that anyway, but from a professional standpoint, obviously certain things you want from a product. But from a hobbyist standpoint, brilliant. You know, they do everything that you would want to in a pleasurable and enjoyable way. Again, I don't want this to be a negative point for this, but I've essentially used I've done half the bonnet there with the spray wax, and you can see the differentiation between the right side where, you know, the water is kind of rolling off from the shampoo, the left side where I've used the spray wax. So, you know, it certainly wasn't meant to be a beading example, but you can see it is laying down some protection. And certainly as we get into these wetter months and things like that, spray waxes, they really do have their place for, you know, just quickly going over the car and just getting a bit of a top-up protection. All in all, I can recommend them. I like the products. I speak to Ash. I like his passion, his enthusiasm for what he's doing. He's the guy behind the brand. So yeah, check them out. The links are below. If you want to buy some, blame it on me. You guys know I'm always cool with that. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye. So, hope you enjoyed that look at Bear Car Care. The links are below if you want to check those guys out. Moving on, after that we have ODK's Echo. It's fantastic wax. Have a look at this and I'll explain to you for why. Enjoy. Hey guys, Luke here, Tranquility Based Detailing. Welcome to an ODK Echo review. If you're curious about buying one of these, or you know, if you're potentially in the market for a new wax, the links are below for this. I'll put them in the description. Dan sells these in 3 sizes, so he's very, very good with knowing his market and what they want. So you can get a full 200ml pot, and that retails about 65 quid. But he also puts out 100ml and a 50ml, and it's very clever of him because a lot of people like me, they like to collect waxes. You know, you want the full size pot, but there's a lot of guys out there also like me that like to try a lot of waxes, in which case you may not want to invest in a full £65 pot. So whatever your budget is, it starts at I think £17 at the 50ml. Like I say, links are below, you can check them out. In terms of the wax itself, let me tell you why you should buy a pot. So like all of ODK's waxes, in fact all of ODK's products, Dan is very, very sharp with the scents. You know, he really puts a lot of thought into that detail. And you're always hard pressed to really say, I know it's exactly this, because of how he tends to formulate his scents. They tend to be a bit of an amalgamation of different complementary things. For me, this one smelled very rich, very decadent in a creamy milk chocolate type of, not milk chocolate, white chocolate kind of way. It was a gorgeous scent, and it was one of those, you know, you can just keep sniffing a certain wax. In terms of the use, now some idiot, not naming any names, but it was probably me, forgot to record me applying the wax down the side of the car, so a little bit stunted on the old edit on this one. But the application is very straightforward. The wax is a firm but oily type of wax. It spreads thin, it spreads really, really nicely, really easy to sort of get a thin layer down. It spreads for a good long way. In terms of removal, this was a lesson learnt for me on the day. I gave it 10, maybe 12 minutes, and we're talking 23, 24 degrees on the day. Came off a breeze, came off a real easy buff type of wax. But right on the quarter panel, right back here, I got called away before I could finish buffing it. Now, I would say easily you could wax half a car, buff it off, wouldn't cause you any problems at all. But the back quarter panel ended up being sort of 25 minutes or so, and that's not the fault of the wax, but if you do that, it's a bit of a git to remove. But a quick spritz of, one of either Exhibit or Entourage, one of Dan's quick detailers, made it sort of much easier to remove. So there's a little tip for you guys. If you are struggling with it, then that can assist. The finish was so good on this one. It's designed for gloss. It's a synthetic wax designed for gloss, and it delivers. It is very, very crisp and sharp. Doesn't add the depth to the paint, it adds a gloss to the paint, and you can see it's evident as you start to buff it off. It's just very, very, very sharp, and that's the best way I could describe it. It was brilliantly suited to the silver, and you know, lighter colours, certain finishes suit, and I would say this wax would absolutely smoke any type of light colour. You know, silvers, whites, it would be bob on. But the thing for me it left me with was an excitement to try it again on a darker paint, which I've not been able to do yet, but I'd anticipate this thing would be absolutely mustard on a darker paint as well. All in all, there's nothing for this really in terms of when I was using it for me not to be able to recommend it. It's priced well, it's priced competitively, it's priced smartly with the different sizes. It smells great, the finish is great. The finish is very, very durable. My car after waxing on this session, I didn't clean it again for 4 weeks. Was still beading, fantastically well through 4 weeks worth of grime and dirt. So all in all, an easy winner for ODK, and it's one that you should get on your collection if you do feel like buying a new wax. Links are below as always. If you've got any questions, shoot them below. Thanks very much for watching this ODK review. Take care, bye-bye. So, on to the final part of the show. Revive My Ride is the final part for this episode. They sent me along 6 products to have a try and give my thoughts. So I've mackled together a little one manufacturer cleans, but they do have, I think it's 17 products in their range. So it's not just limited to what I've shown you in this review. If you want to check them out, links are below, as are Bear Car Cares and ODK. Hope you enjoy this segment. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you want to like, share, comment, subscribe, you guys know I'm always grateful for that. And stay tuned for the next episode, which is coming hopefully next week. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey guys, Luke here, Tranquility Based Detailing. Welcome to review for Revive My Ride. Now they're a relatively new brand, so you may not have heard of them, and that's okay. The links are in the description below, so you can go and check these guys out after you've done watching this review. Revive My Ride is owned by a chap called Martin. He's assisted by a very pleasant chap called Nick. Talk to Nick a lot. He's a very, very nice man. So links are below for both of those guys. If you do have any questions, queries, you need to know anything, reach out to them. And they're very, very amiable and nice people. And I'm sure they'll be enthusiastic to answer your questions, because they're passionate about the what they're doing, the brand that they're building. They sent me 6 products to try. And that's of a cross-section of about 15 products in their range, I do believe. So it's a very thorough range. But it was enough with these 6 items just to get a good overview of what they do and what they're capable of doing. Some of the products were ready to go. Others need a little bit of prep work. So wheel cleaner was dilutable, so 3-to-1 dilution ratio. So I had to get that mixed up. And snow foams, naturally you dilute those anyway, so just set that one up at 50 ml in 950 mils worth of water, and then we're pretty much set and ready to go. Car in question's mine. The products that I had to use from them other than the snow foam, so they sent me a shampoo, a glass cleaner, rubber and tyre dressing, and a spray wax. So it was plenty enough to get a good overview of the range. But we start, as always, with the wheels and the wheel cleaner. So shampoo-wise, mixed up, it's an 800 to 1 dilution ratio. So mixed up 15 mil into my wash bucket here. So bang on the 800 to 1 ratio that they suggest. Depending on the water condition in your area. So if it's harder water, you need, obviously, ignore that maximum dilution and tend to go a little bit richer than that. I like to kind of go where they tell me to be and then sort of judge it from there. But it actually gave a very, very sudsy shampoo, and it was really, really slick. I have to say, for the 6 products that I tried on the day, the shampoo for me was one that I came away from. It was really the one that left a lasting impression in a very positive way. It was sort of the standout of the 6. And, there were 6 good products that they sent to me as well. Wheel-wise, rinse everything down. Came in with the wheel cleaner. And the instructions on the wheel cleaner are pretty straightforward, like most. Spray, allow to sit, and then agitate. So, got everything sort of sprayed down. I left it for a minute or so just to cut in. In terms of the cleaning power, very, very good. I didn't try it at a lower dilution. So it says 3 to 1, mixed it up at that. I'm sure it'd have more cut if required if you didn't dilute it as much. I'm not sure they recommend that you use it neat. I'm not saying that you can or can't on that. I'm just saying that I don't know. So that's something maybe if you were curious of, you could ask Nick or Martin, and I'm sure they'd have the answer. But yeah, it did a good job of cleaning my wheels up. If you watch the channel often enough, you know that I'm on top of the wheel maintenance anyway. So they weren't sort of pitted against anything massively grim, but certainly against a couple of weeks of road grime. Very, very capable product. It cut through what it needed to cut through, and it did that well. It seemed to, under agitation, foam nicely as a wheel cleaner goes. But likewise, since I was using the shampoo, and the shampoo inherently is quite a foamy one, I may be mistaken. But either way, bottom line is it works. It does the job. After the wheels were done, it was then obviously moving on to the snow foaming part. So with the snow foam, mixed it at that 50 to 950 dilution ratio, and I'll show you guys in a minute sort of the nature of the foam, the nature of what it gave to us. It had a reasonable dwell time, so we're looking at about 4 minutes on the panel, which in the summer I don't mind at all, because you're typically moving faster in these summer months anyway. But about 4 minutes dwell time. It pulled quite a good amount off the paint. And I did say when I sort of spoke with Nick afterwards that, it felt it could be a little bit stronger. I'm not saying it was a bad product, but I felt it could have a little bit more bite. And he advised that maybe try 100 mil to 900 mil in the next go. So that's something I'm yet to do, but I'd be more than happy to try out and see if that does give the desired effect. Now, the level of sort of what was stuck on the car. So just to give a fair review of this, all of sort of the main, the flat panels, the doors, everything like that, it took off the majority of what you'd want it to take off. Really what I'm saying is it was around the bottom of the sills, the bottom of the rear bumper where, all the crud gets kicked up. Odd spot or two just on there where, it did need a little bit more punch. But I'm happy to try it again at the 100 mil dilution and see how it goes. Now, the main thing that does hit you when you're trying the Revive My Ride products, and this is something that's in there by design, is they are unscented products. So, that's something that the company have done really as a conscious decision. Now, you guys know, and those that watch the channel know, I've got a big schnoz and I love sniffing these products. And for me, I missed it. It's not a major downside. And if you were working as trade, I don't think, you kind of, that's priority one, is that it smells delightful. Obviously, priority one should always be, does it work? And the answer on that is an easy yes, they all work. But the thing that was missing for me was that scent. And I can understand why it's not in there, and I can understand why they won't change that. So not so much a negative, and for some of you guys, you may not like those heavily perfumed products, so if you're after something unscented, then go for these. The products smell exactly like you'd expect. They smell chemically, so there's a little bit of a stronger chemical smell, which I'm sure is there in all of them before they add the perfume. But for me, that was sort of one of only two things that, if they were to change, would be for the better, for me as a personal opinion. In terms of the shampoo, just to sort of round off what I was covering off with that, the suds to panel transfer on it was fantastic. The cleaning power on it was absolutely bob on, and like I said to you guys, the lubricity on it was brilliant. So for me, it's one of those that I look forward to trying again, and for me, it's a sign of a good product if I want to try it again, because I've got so many things that I need to get through and use and review and try. Typically I don't revisit products so often, but if I get the urge to, then that for me, it tells me that it must have done something right. Rinsed down really nicely as well. And then in terms of drying the car, it was out sort of the Clean Korea towel for this one, and I used the spray wax as a drying aid for two reasons. So one is just a nice, quicker, easy way to do it. It's a very easy way to get some extra gloss on your panel, but also because it was a really, really hot day, and even on a lighter colour, some of the water did dry. So I had some water spotting on the panel, and the quick detail and nature of this product just helped to lift those off. So it was very, very competent at leaving a gloss to the panel. It was very good as a drying aid, but it also, as a quick detailer, it just helped to lift those water spots off the panel, and it did so, very, very well, very, very easily. So again, it was another solid product in the line of what they'd sent to me. And that from there left me with two more products to try out. So that was their dressing, which is a tire and rubber and trim dressing. They do a specific tire dressing, which I didn't try on the day. So I did use it on the tires, which is why I'm throwing myself out. The other product was the glass cleaner. Now, I had some water spotting on the glass, which was just from it being a hot day. I paired the glass cleaner with a Wowo towel. For me, I always find myself with glass cleaners saying, yes, it works, or no, it doesn't. And I'd like a glass review to be more in depth than that, but typically they're not, because it's one of those binary things. They're either crap or they're not. And this one, it did work. It did take a couple of hits on some of the really bad water spotting on the rear window. But, we're talking really hot day, the rear window's sun-baked, so not so much a fault with the glass cleaner, really just the nature of it. So yeah, the glass cleaner worked. It's another one that was like another tick for the range. Onto the dressing. So the dressing was for rubber and trim, so more like seals and plastic, but tyres are rubber. So I thought, hey, what have I got to lose? It actually made quite a good tyre dressing. The finish on it was little bit gloss. It wasn't a high gloss or anything like that. But the nature of it, because it's not really designed for this, is it almost sort of dried into the tyre, and not in a bad way. You're certainly going to get zero sling from this if you use it for that purpose, because it's virtually dry to the touch once you sort of sprayed it on and left it for a minute, and then when you go around and buff it, there's just no residue left there at all. So it left a nice finish on the tyre, but it left a really, really top-notch finish on the plastics, which I'll show you on the rear bumper in a second. Buffed it into the plastics. It left a, it looked oily. I don't want that to be a bad descriptive for it, but it does. You'll see exactly what I mean in a second. It left a sheen to the plastics. I know it's not for everyone. I know it's not to everyone's taste, but the finish on it certainly was dark. You can't deny that. Left a sheen. It was, again, like with the tyres, it had zero sort of oiliness to it, to the touch afterwards. That's what I mean by that. So with some dressings, you use them, they leave a residue, they're going to pick up more dirt. This just wasn't that. All in all, in summary, I would say this. They're all a very solid range of products. I can see them being very popular with trade, with what they do and how they work, and particularly the fact Revive My Ride have a trade discount price list as well, which I've not been privy to, but I've been told that's very sharply and competitively priced too. But yeah, I can see this range catching on. The passion of the two guys pushing it is there. The capability of the products is certainly there, and the ease of use is there as well. And in these overall finish shots, I think you can see that. If you've got any questions, ask me below. But as always, thanks very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.